pretty calm at times, every now and then? Yeah. Calm and centered and kind rather than upset and angry because Harris Teeter didn't wait on you quick enough because I got a phone call. And sometimes we just get a little frustrated. So hopefully this practice will help somewhat. Any other body parts calling for anything in particular? No? Let us start. So I'm going to mute everyone and when you're flat on your back, please. If that playlist made you want to have something playing in the background, you are welcome to do that.
Did you say?
I'm sorry, Lisa. If somebody asked a question, I didn't hear it before I muted you. So if there's anything that anyone needs to say, if you want to unmute and you can speak up, especially if something goes south. Somebody's, especially if your video is on, you can jump up and down and dance like Faye was. But once you get situated, you go flat on your back. And be in a comfortable position first, something really comfortable. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest, somewhere on your chest. Do a quick scan of your body as you lay here, especially your hand on your belly. It's the center of your body. It's a good way to to do a check-in often. And hand on your chest just to make sure you're breathing. Breathe fully. And start to, just arrive for your practice here tonight. Affirm your ability to drop into this space right here, right now, fully. So if you notice any areas of tension, breathe into that for a few breaths. And feel the back of your body as you breathe. So often when we're, consumed with problems or changing situations, we're all up front. We're all in our head. We're all forward. You want to feel the back of your body. It helps to calm you down, to reconnect you to wholeness. Plus, as you breathe, the back of your lungs have a far greater surface area than the front. Access that. It's powerful. Now start to use the Ujjayi sound. And if you're not familiar with that, it's also called Darth Vader breath, if that gives you a visual or an auditory visual. So you constrict the muscle in the back of your throat, and it creates a little valve sort of that the air passes through. Point is, you want to feel hear yourself breathe and feel the vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. Everything. And there's power in those vibrations. This is your vibration. Make it strong. Make it strong enough that you hear it and you feel it. And as you begin your practice this evening, if there's any personal intentions that you want to acknowledge, whatever you're working to create, sustain, or let go of in your life, consider that now. And know that every thought also has a vibration. There's a life force to thoughts. So the intentions that you set, will come to fruition in some way, shape, or form at some time. Now keep the Ujjayi breath, and with the hand that's on your belly, place all four fingers just beneath your belly button. Just beneath your belly button. And with your other hand, put all 4 fingers just kind of between your eyes on your forehead. And your fingers are vertical. And continue Ujjayi breath, easy, soft body here, and gently pull up on both hands. So all 8 fingers are gently gliding up. It's just an uplifting invitation for your center. Take 2 more Ujjayi breaths. And then let all of that go. Let your body breathe its own rhythm of breath. Arms at your sides. And be relaxed. Bend your knees with your feet flat. Separate your feet wider than your body, so about as wide as your mat. Bring your arms over your chest now. Hold on to your elbows for a double windshield wiper. Let both knees go to one direction and both elbows pull to the other. And then slowly make your way through center. Now go back to the Ujjayi breath. And again, make it kind of loud and deliberate. And let it match your movement. Then make your way to center. Bring your knees into your chest, one hand on each knee. And start to rock side to side, all the way over to one side, all the way, all the way, all the way. And then pick up the top knee and roll all the way over to the other side. And be kind of lazy about it, a little loose. Like let your head turn and really give in to gravity. So when you roll to the side and you land, like boom, just give into it. Just let go and sink into that sort of side lying child pose. And then make sure you feel even. And come back to center. Cross your right foot underneath of your left and catch hold of your right foot. And then put your left foot on the floor, so your left knee is pointing straight up toward the ceiling, and your right foot is kind of tucked underneath of that left leg. Now, point your right knee away from you, so it's open, it's to the floor, and you're pointing it away as far as you can. Stretch your right arm overhead, and maybe take a slight side bend so that you feel the greatest distance from your right knee to your right fingers. Relax your neck and your head. Now you can keep your left leg right where it is, kind of the knee pointing up to the ceiling, or you can stretch your left leg out straight and long. That might feel really nice in your hips. So since we are going to work with Dancer, it is a back bend, it's a balance posture. But it also requires a lot of mobility in your hip flexors. And hip flexors are a fascinating, fascinating muscle. Besides your heart and your diaphragm, your hip flexors are probably your third most interesting muscle in your body. So here, while the right knee is open, feel the stretch and the opening in the front, hopefully, in the front of your right hip. There's an expansion there. And now bend your left knee and untwist that right knee. Come back to center with both knees into your chest. Circle your knees around now. And let your legs be super relaxed, super relaxed. You're creating the circle with the strength of your arms. Your feet are floppy, so knees are kind of big circles. One knee going one way, one knee going the other way. Nice. All right, now cross the left foot underneath of the right leg so that you can catch hold of that foot with your right hand. And then lower your right foot to the floor and let the left knee drop open to the ground. Yeah, kind of hold on to that left foot. And because you have a hold of it, you can kind of help yourself to pull it up. Stretch your left arm up overhead. So letting the left knee drop to the ground as much as you can. Finding a comfortable place with your left arm. And breathe. If you want to stretch your right leg out long, you can let that happen. And again, sometimes that opens both, hips. It just depends on maybe how much you've been sitting. Focus your awareness, your breath on breathing down into your lap. Nice. And then slide your right leg back in, if it is out there, and let go of your left foot. One more time with those knee circles, bring your knees in toward your chest, one hand on each knee. Now make them big. One knee goes clockwise and one knee goes counterclockwise. Yes. And you're massaging your low back. As you do this, you can feel your hips sort of rocking back and forth. Here's the hardest part, is letting go. Letting go. Life is just a series of letting go over and over and over and over. Let go of the muscles in your hips and let your arms drive the bus. And that's hard. And come to center. Now roll to one side, doesn't matter which side, roll all the way over. And let your head rest on your bottom arm. Take your top leg in a side lying half bow and catch hold of your top ankle and kick your toes back. So a half bow is really quad stretch. It's sort of relaxed and easy right now. So your bottom leg's relaxed on the ground, your head's resting on your arm. It is totally sweet. You can kick your left foot back into, whatever range of motion that feels good to you. Play with reaching the knee away. So like toward the bottom edge of your mat. Take a nice deep breath. And then let your knees stack on top of each other. You're still lying on your side and your knees are out in front. Let your left arm come forward on the ground and twist and open your left arm up to the ceiling and open to back behind you. And do that maybe 2 or 3 times. So your arm comes forward toward the floor in front of you and then up overhead. So it's a twist and you're opening through your waistline. Gets kind of weird with your head because your head will roll off your arm. If that's okay, go ahead and let that happen. Otherwise, bend your bottom elbow and you can let your head roll onto your hand. Next time your arm is back behind you, stay there for a couple of breaths. So you're twisted and your left arm is out back behind you. And your left leg stretches out along the floor in front of you. So your leg is going in one direction and your arm is going in the other. Nice. All right. And then bend all of that, bring it back to your back, rolling over where you started, knees into your chest. And we're going to do it all on the other side. So roll to your left side. I'm just going to turn around here so my back is not to you. Or roll to your left side, catch hold of your top ankle in a side lying half bow. And you can catch the foot. Sometimes the top of the foot feels really nice. If your toes feel tight, pull that in. Press the knee back, reach the knee away. I'd stay with Ujjayi breath here. Everything else really relaxed. It's so nice when gravity's here to support you. Totally joyful. And now bring the top knee, let go of the top ankle, and stack your knees on top of each other. So you're kind of in a side-lying table. Keep your knees glued together, okay? So this twist comes more from your ribs and not your low back. Top hand comes forward on the floor. And then stretch up to the ceiling. And just like a windshield wiper, you open that up. And then come back to center where you started. So right hand in front. And then arm up to the ceiling or the sky. And open back behind. One more time. Deep breath while you do this. Bring your arm forward. Nice. And then up and open. And if it feels okay here, just kind of hang out. Your arm might be hanging up in space. I wouldn't let it do that for a long time, but it's okay here for a short time. You can counterbalance that by stretching your right leg out on the floor in front of you. So leg going one way, arm going the other way. Oh, this is a great way to wring yourself out. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Nice. And then bring that all back in. Now roll over to your belly and come up into table, into all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide with your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips for cat-cow. Inhale, lifting your chin and your tail, and then exhale and round your spine. Go ahead and go back and forth a few times. Take your time and move in a way that feels really good to you. It feels really good. So it's not only your spine, right? Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is interconnected. So when you move your spine, you actually also move your shoulder blades forward and back, and your hips tip, tailbone rises, and then tailbone lowers. Now make your way to center, and it's a time for a fan favorite. So I'm going to give you the option first to lower your left elbow to the ground. These are hydrants. Lift your right knee high to the side. Now you know why it's called a hydrant. This is Faye's favorite, by the way. Now, if you need that left elbow down, we're going to keep it down. If you don't need it down and you feel okay on both arms, straight arms, let's have both hands to the floor. Slow. Circle your right knee around. Joyfully. Keep your right heel curled tight to your bottom. Tight to your bottom. So you're really thinking like a laser pointer with your knee. Now here's the kicker. Body weight even in both hands. Long neck. Smooth breath. Reverse your circles in the other direction. Take a quick peek at your left thigh and make sure you're not leaning to the left. No leaning. Big circles with your right knee. And now, next time your right knee is high to the side, pause and hold really high. Open the knee up now so your knee is bent at 90 degrees. Now lift the knee a little higher than your heel. So the heel drops down, the knee lifts up, smile. Balance out your body weight now, hand to hand and on your left knee. Stay. Extend the right leg out and slowly lower it to the ground. Place it lightly, walk your fingers forward and lower your elbows. And say ah. So you can let your elbows and your head rest. If your head doesn't rest comfortably, stack your fists, 1 potato, 2 potato, and let your head rest on your fists. Try to feel your foot is pretty much in line with your knee. And take 2 more full breaths. Climb back up onto your hands. Sweep your right leg straight out back behind you. Lift your chin and then pull it in toward your nose. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, pull in. Press back and pull in. And kind of move in a way as if the air had resistance. Now the next time the knee comes in, step it up between your hands. So knee down lunge, knee down warrior. Nice. Beautiful, Lori. Stacking your right knee right over your right ankle. Oh, Jared's in the house tonight. So nice. Sink your hips low. Lift. Take 2 more full breaths. And then slow motion, land your hands to either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and fold over your front thigh. So get your belly on your front thigh, let your back heel sink low, and sway just a little bit side to side. Little hamstring stretch, I believe Trent asked for last week. Walk your fingers to the right. With your belly on your front thigh and you're trying to straighten the front leg, I hope you're feeling a little bit of love. somewhere, anywhere. Bend your front knee, walk your fingers back, step back to down dog, hips up high. Take a very deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And again, deep breath in, exhale. One more time, deep breath in, get rid of that air. And then lower both knees, hands under your shoulders. We have all that on the other side. How happy are you? Have two legs. Lift your left knee high to the side. Hold. So for hydrants, which is basically hip circumduction, it is a super healthy thing for strength, for your back, for balance. So both hands, body weight even in both hands, right? Curl your heel tight to your bottom. We're going to go slow because when you go slow, you feel more. You know more. You're a little more aware. We all know if we ride through a really nice little quaint neighborhood on a bike, you're going to see a whole lot more than you would in your car. And if you were to walk through that neighborhood, you'd see a whole lot more than you would on a bike. So go slower and enjoy it. One more circle. Can you go a little slower just so you don't miss anything? Easy breath. And then reverse in the other direction. Now remember, if you have a laser pointer on your knee, you're really trying to scribe a nice, large, smooth circle, sphere. Because that is what the head, basically, of your femur bone, it kind of slides around there in a circular bowl, your acetabulum. It's a beautiful thing. Now lift your knee high to the side, smile and hold. I know, it's not where your knee wants to go, is it, Jenna? Remember, you could lower your right elbow. I forgot to say that on this side. I guess it's a little late, isn't it? Stretch your left leg out long. Hold just 3 breaths. Just 3 breaths. Can you find joy here? Even though it's probably, it's awkward. Now slow. Don't go fast. Remember, the slower you go, the more you feel, the more you know. Slow. Lower the foot to the floor. Slower. Lower. And then once it's there, in line with your knee, walk your hands forward and bow. Forehead on the floor. Or on your fists. Keep a nice long spine. Sometimes it's better to lift your head up. If your spine is rounded for you to get your head to the ground, it'd be better to have a block or maybe your fists to lift your head in line with your spine and lengthen. Let's take one more Ujjayi breath here. Climb back up onto your hands. Lift the left leg, sweep it out back behind you. As you exhale, pull it in. Inhale back and pull. It's out and in. Hip flexion, hip extension, strong breath. This also adds the spinal motion. Nice. Next time it's in, bring it up, step on it between your hands. You might move your right knee back a little bit for knee down lunge, and then stabilize, rise, knee down warrior. So beautiful. Faye, that is lovely. Now while you're sinking your hips low, your arms overhead helps you to lift your ribs up. Create a longer waistline. Also, easy neck. One more full breath. And then soft landing, slow and soft. Fingers come down. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, fold over your front thigh. So this is kind of a little pyramid, it's similar. And the back heel probably won't touch, and that's fine. Actually, sometimes it's nicer to feel that calf stretch. If you wanted to step it in, you could, so that both feet are flat. If it works for you, here's where I'm going, is that waistline. Walk your fingers to the left, crawl your right fingertips way out. As your right fingertips move forward, right hip moves back. Breathe deeply. Nice. Make your way back to center. Bend your front knee. Step up to forward fold. Fix your feet so they're parallel to each other and about a hand's width in between. And then inhale, rise halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold belly to thighs. Reverse swan dive, push through your feet, soar out to come up, a little back bend. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Nice. So we're going to move through a few rounds of the classic salutation, and that'll be the knee down, right? So as you inhale, stretch out and up. Exhale, long spine to fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Hands down, step your right leg back. Lower your right knee to the ground. Inhale, lift to knee down warrior. Now this time, clasp your hands behind your back. Reach your knuckles towards your back heel. And lift your chest. So a little more chest expansion. Anchor into your front foot super strong and hug your thighs toward each other. Take one more full breath. And then bring your hands down. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee and step to plank. Hold your plank. Now in your plank, use the strength in your hands, your fingers. Massage the floor or the ground with your fingerprints. And as you exhale, slowly lower your knees. Your whole body comes all the way down in one unit, elbows to your ribs. Inhale, lift into a little baby cobra. Now, same thing with your hands here. So massage the mat with your fingerprints. And here's what I'm going to suggest is if you're isometrically, your hands spin out. So your right hand spinning clockwise, left hand spinning counterclockwise. Pull your chest forward. And then lower. Press up into table. Tuck your toes and lift into down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Strong breath in. Stronger breath out. Now feet together. Stretch your right leg really high. Bring it all the way up between your hands. Step on it. Lower your left knee to the ground. Arms rise. Knee down warrior. Drive your hips low. So root down into your front foot. Pull your thighs, hug toward the midline. Clasp fingers behind your back. Reach your knuckles low. You can always add that back bend if that feels okay. Nice. And as you exhale, hands come down, tuck your back toes, step to plank. Strong, long body. Hands spin out, fingerprints are working. Now you can lower your knees again, or hover into a low push-up, and then rise into up dog. Now you can always do the cobra that we did earlier. Take one more full breath, and then press up into down dog or into table, and then into down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Now even in your down dog, try to find that engagement through your fingers and your hands spinning out. That's an isometric movement, but it really plugs you into your shoulders so that you feel your core strength. Now feet come together. Left leg stretches high. Bring it all the way up between your hands. Right leg follows, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Open your arms wide, push through your feet, soar out and up. Exhale into squat, Utkatasana. Now in your squat, right, sit your hips back, body weight in your heels. We're going to move through a twisted squat a couple of times, okay? So inhale, come up. Exhale, twist to the right, split your arms and sit into your squat. And then come right back up super tall and go the other way. Split your arms and sit to the left. So inhale, come up tall. You can add a little bit of a back bend there in the middle and then sit into your squat, twisting to one side. Good. So when you go back and forth, like I said a few times, now listen up, when you squat, your body weight stays even in your feet and your knees stay pointing forward. So the twist comes from your ribs. Your hips stay square to the front of your mat. Nice. So let's go one more time, both sides. Breathe deeply. It's up into a little back bend and then sink, squatting and twisting. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. The next time you're up into your back bend, hold. So this is upward mountain, right? Reaching up, lifting through both arms. Now as you exhale, come right down the center into squat. Sit your hips back, press your palms together. 5 breaths. When you press palms together, elbows point out. You feel your upper back, shoulder muscles working. Keep your neck relaxed. And then as you exhale, fold all the way over. Step your right leg back into high lunge this time. If you need to lower the back knee, let the back knee come down. Stabilize and rise. Nice. So when you're up in it's warrior 1, sometimes called crescent warrior or balancing warrior because your back heel is lifted. Add a little back bend. And then come back to the yoga mudra hands. Clasp your fingers. Keep lifting your chest. Now stabilize through your legs. Reach out, over, and humble warrior. Go to the inside of your front leg. And go kind of low. If you can kiss your front ankle, go ahead and do that. Reach your knuckles super high. Take one more breath. Now you got to come out of this hole. Reach out to lift up. Press into your front foot. Lift, lift to where you started. Lift your arms overhead. Turn to the side, side warrior. So you lower your back heel. Hips are level. Arms spread wide. Nice. To flip your front palm into reverse warrior, left arm straight up. Now keep the front knee bent. Wrap your the back hand around your back and breathe. Nice, exalted warrior. Keep pointing the front knee directly over your front middle toes. Now windmill back around, come up tall, straighten your front leg. This is for triangle. You might heel toe in a little bit with your back foot. Reach your left arm forward. And then stack your arms in line with your shoulders. Nice. And breathe. Look up at your top thumb if that works for you. Pull your bottom hip forward and your top hip rolls back. Take 2 more full breaths. Nice. Look down at your front foot. Bend your front knee. Bring your hands down to the inside of your front foot. Lift your back heel. Now this is called bow to the earth. You might walk your left foot over to the left a little bit so you have enough room for your shoulders. If you can, keep the back leg straight. If you need to lower the knee to get off your foot, that's totally fine. But you're going to try to sink down a little bit lower here, so maybe your right elbow lowers. And that might be cool. If you can lower both elbows, let that happen. And once you're down, whether you're on your hands or your elbows, pull your spine really long. So good. Take 2 more full breaths. If your back knee is lifted, press through that back heel super strong. Super strong. And if you're on your elbows, come on up onto your hands. If your back knee is down, lift it up. Turn to the side of the mat, wide angled fold. So you walk to your right, feet are wide. Bend and straighten one knee at a time. Just take a little shift side to side. Nice. Spine's long. And then come back to your left where you started. Walk all the way around. Step to the down dog, hips up high. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, lower into plank. Hold your plank. Now the same right leg that we've been working with. Curl your right heel to your bum. Flex your right foot. Press that heel up. Press it up. Up to the ceiling. Keep pressing your left heel back. If you need to lower your left knee, you sure can. And then stretch your right leg out. Lower it to the floor or to up dog. So you can do cobra or up dog and rise. Exhale back to down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Take your time, walk your feet up to your hands into forward fold. We're going to do all of that on the other side. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, so we're out, up, and open. Exhale into squat. As you sit back into your squat, spine nice and long. Now we'll move through that sort of twisted squat a few more times. Try to keep your knees right in line with your toes and your body weight even in your feet. So it's only your upper body that moves. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist to one side, split your arms. Inhale, come up super tall, super tall. As you sink, twist the other way. And do this again. Feel the rising, the pressing through your heels to lift, and then that sinking energy to lower. And again, the slower you go, right, the more you know, the more you feel. So do it one more time, both sides, and try to slow it down enough that you really sense your body weight in your feet does not shift. These look beautiful. And that you're reaching your arms evenly, like you just start to dial it in, when it slows down. Now lift up super tall, and then come down the center, squat. Hold your squat. Sit a little deeper. Lengthen your spine a little more. Ujjayi breath. Nice. And then fold forward. Left leg steps back into a high lunge. Remember, you always have the option to lower your knee as we did earlier. Stabilize. Come on up. Warrior one. And this is more of a balancing or crescent warrior, so that back heel points straight up toward the ceiling. Bend your elbows through cactus, hands behind your back, knuckles toward your back heel, stargazer, so it's a back bend. Now as you fold forward, belly way out along the front thigh, out, out, out. Get your palms together, knuckles up for humble warrior. Kiss your front ankle. Go a little lower. Find joy here. A smile always helps. Slow motion rise, reach back through your knuckles, forward through the crown of your head. Come all the way out where you came from, because that's where we're all going back to. Rise into crescent warrior, and then split your arms, open to side warrior. Nice. So you're on the other side. Parshva Virabhadrasana. Body weight even in both feet. Reverse warrior, flip your front palm, sweep your front arm up and back, let your back hand wrap behind your back. While you're reaching up and back, find more space in your back waistline, the left waistline. Feel it lifting more so you don't drop into it. Now slow motion, cartwheel your hands around to the inside of your front foot. Lift your back heel. This is for the bow to the earth. Walk your right foot over to the right. You can lower the back knee. If you're like, I just want to put that back knee down, then by golly, do it. If you can, it's a little more strength oriented, you drive the back heel back and pull your chest forward. So you're trying to stay super long. Now maybe you lower your outside elbows, usually the easier one. So you might have, one elbow down and one hand down, or both elbows. Now once you get down lower, you still got to go for the length. Pull your spine long. Take 2 more Ujjayi breaths. Press that back heel back. Drive your elbows down if they're down. Then climb back up onto your hands. Turn to the side of your mat for wide angled fold. Fix your feet so they're parallel to each other. And they're pressing straight down. Now twist from here, hands under your chest, twist and open one arm up, and bring that back to center. Twist and open the other arm up, and back to center. Stay long in your spine when you twist. And again, you're balanced in your feet here. Your upper body is moving. Nice. Take it one more time. So good. Pause in the middle. A little more core strength. Soften your knees, walk your fingers forward. Keep your hips in line with your heels. So your hips don't shift forward, it's just your arms reaching forward. Relax your neck. Use the Ujjayi breath. You're going to need it. Lift one hand a little bit off of the floor. Lift the other hand a little bit off the floor. Smile. Joy is ever present. Feel your toes. Separate your teeth. Longer spine. Only 2 more breaths. Nice. Lower your fingers, bring them back in. Walk around to the right where you came from. Step back to down dog, hips up high. Take a deep breath in and lower into plank. Hold your plank. Now your left leg, curl your heel tight to your bum. Press your left knee up. So that's hip extension. Feel the strength in your hips. Relax your neck here. You can always do this on your elbows as well. One more breath. Press your heel straight up. Back to plank. Now slow motion, lower all the way to the ground. All the way to the ground. Nice. From here, right arm out long. Bend your left knee. Bring your left heel to your bottom. Catch your foot. So your right arm and right leg are stretching very long. Press your hips down. Kick your left toes up toward the ceiling. So maybe your left thigh lifts. If it feels good, bend your right elbow a little bit. Use your right hand to help you to lift your head and your chest. So you can kick your foot into your hand. You can push with your right hand. You can press your hips down. There's always helpers. And then maybe you float your right leg, and perhaps you float your right arm. Easy neck. And take 2 more slow breaths. Easy down, release and relax. So again, so happy we have 2 legs. Left arm, stretch it out long overhead. Bend your right knee, and reach back and grab your right ankle. So remember, you're pulling your heel toward your bottom. So that's knee flexion, and that's the most important part first. Yeah. And you might stay right there. If that's, you're loving it and you're feeling plenty, I would stay there and luxuriate in it. When you're ready, kick the foot up. Maybe the thigh lifts, maybe it doesn't. You want a little help from your left hand? Pull your left hand back just a little and then press and lift your head and shoulders. That's not a big lift. Make sure you don't lift so much that you're creating tension. We're here to get rid of tension patterns. Relax your neck. By all means, smile. Perhaps float left leg, left arm. And then easy down. Nice. Let's bend your knees, windshield wiper your feet side to side. And maybe circle, whatever feels good there. Stretch your legs out long. Tuck your toes under. Your choice to press to table or to plank. Do it all in one unit. And then rise to down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Soften your knees a little bit. Reach your hips way up and back. Feel your fingerprints working for you. Press your fingerprints firmly into the ground. Feel your hands spinning apart. Right hand turning clockwise. Left hand turning counterclockwise. Just a little. Walk your feet up to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Push through your feet, soar out, up, and open. And then bring your hands to your heart. Nice. So we are ready for your dancer. Press down through your left foot. Bring your left arm up next to your ear. Shift your body weight to your left so you have this downward force and then you have the upward reaching. Match those two. That brings a sense of, centering. Now curl your right heel to your bottom and pull your right heel in close. So you feel deep hip flexion at first. Reach your right knee straight down toward the ground. Flex your left palm like you're pushing the ceiling away. Kick your right foot back and let the kicking back tip you forward into your dancer. And even if it's, it doesn't need to go too far. Try to keep the toes and your fingers about on the same level. So it's more of kicking your toes up than pitching your body forward. Beautiful. And then slow motion. Come up the way you came. Easy down. So slow. Yay. Stand tall on both feet. Take a sun breath. Inhale, soar up. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, soar out, up, open, little back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. So hips level, press into your right foot. Reach your right arm up. Let your left arm just relax for a moment. Shift body weight to your right foot. Curl, feel your hamstring strength. A lot of times we reach back there and we help grab the foot and help pull it up. Try to curl the heel tight to your bottom. Bring the foot to your hand versus you whipping your hand around there to lasso your foot. Takes a lot of strength to get there. Feel the upward reaching and the downward pressing. Easy breath. Kick your foot back into your hand and flexing your right palm like you're pressing forward into a force. There's always forces, even if we can't see them. Lift your left toes high enough that you feel something. Toes and fingers in line. Nice. One more full breath. Now slow to come out of it. So you don't grab it and drop it like it's hot. Come on up easy. Nice. And then release your foot. Beautiful. Sun breath. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, open wide, soar up. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. From the front of your mat, do a little close here for your hips. Inhale, stretch up. And as you exhale, fold over. Inhale, rise halfway. Hands down, step back to down dog. And take several deep breaths. Let your sitting bones soar high. Screw your palms out. Lengthen your neck. So I'm going to feel almost like a long-necked turtle coming out of its shell. This is a nice traction. And as you exhale, lower your knees. Bring your left knee up to your left wrist for pigeon. Slide your left foot across. Walk your right leg back. Lift your hips up, or lift your chest up rather. Nice. Now if you prefer to recline in pigeon, of course you can. Continue to feel the little bit of back bending here as you let your hips sink. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Then tuck your back toes under, walk your back knee in. Use your core body to pick up that front leg. Step back to down dog. Take a deep breath in. Out through your mouth. Deep breath in. Slow landing of your knees. Pigeon on the left, or the other side. So it's my right. I think I must have said left last time. Just make sure you get your other leg. Walk your Back leg back, hips square, and lift your chest. Now go back to the Ujjayi breath and really feel that your hips are like a hammock here in between your legs. So you're really letting them sink. And also feeling elongation, in your spine. And then plant your hands, tuck your back toes under, walk your back knee in, lift one more time for down dog. Step back. Take 3 deep breaths here. Nice, and then lower both knees and swivel your feet to the right. Have a seat on your left hip. This is twist of the sage. So your legs are kind of a little askew. I mean, your hips are definitely, tipped to the left. Lift up out of your left hip and twist around. Use your right hand on your left knee to help you to spiral. So you're twisting away from your legs. Twist toward me, Jenna. Yep, you got it. Keep your chest lifted. And then let's go the other way. So you can roll your hips and sweep your feet the other way. Stack them. I should mention the other side. Sorry about that. If your knees don't feel good, you could scissor your legs like a 90-90. If you can stack them somehow, it definitely feels awkward. And then twist toward the right. So the back hand is there to help you to stay tall. Try to, avoid leaning on the back hand. Find those deeper muscles that basically keep you tall and long. Take one more full breath. Nice. And then release that. And now center yourself on your mat. So any props that you would like to have close by. I'm going to finish with bridge. But if you want a pillow or a sandbag or, a bolster under your knees, make sure that's close by. Roll down onto your back. Pull your heels close to your bottom. And with your arms down at your sides, press into your heels, lift your hips up. Now stay there in your bridge and breathe. You could also, if you're familiar with clasping your fingers underneath of your body, you could do that. And reach your knuckles toward your heels, kind of like we did earlier in that humble warrior. Make sure you're getting your palms together if you do that. I'm going to stay here maybe 5 more breaths if you can. Reach your knees away as you drive your hips up. And as you breathe, feel your belly move. Nice. One more breath. And slowly release your fingers if you have your hands clasped. Slowly, slowly roll your spine down to the ground. Pause there for a moment. And I'm going to suggest one more bridge, but a slightly different foot position. So whatever, if you went wide before, pull your feet closer together. If you felt like your feet were close together, go wider. If you're familiar with wheel and you want to do a full back bend here, you sure can. Once you get your hips up, if you're in a narrow stance, feel your inner thighs hugging tightly together. It feels awkward. If your feet are wide, perhaps feel your pubic bone lift a little higher than your knees. A little higher than your knees. Take one more full breath. And then release your fingers if you have them clasped. Slowly, slowly roll your spine down. Nice. And let a few windshield wipers happen. So you can separate your feet about as wide as the mat. Let your knees roll side to side. So your knees just kind of sway. And arms typically here maybe open wide. And now stretch your legs out long. Reach your arms down at your sides, palms up. And before we actually go into full rest, think about lifting your right leg, but don't actually do it. So this is called a non-lifting lift. And it's just the right leg. Think about lifting it, but don't actually lift it. And now do hover the right leg a tiny, tiny, tiny bit off of the floor. I mean so small that it's imperceptible. And while you hold that right leg a tiny, tiny, tiny bit away from the floor, can you relax everything else as much as possible? Now stretch the right leg out long and lay it down. And really let it go. And we're going to do that on the other leg as well. So first, think about lifting the left leg, but don't actually do it. It's a non-lifting lift. Feel how your nervous system responds to that thought. Thoughts are powerful. They have a life force of their own. Now do lift the left leg a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. I mean like imperceptible. Can you really focus the work a little more around that left side and support by relaxing the rest of your body? Then lengthen the left leg a lot and lower it to the ground. Let your feet fall out. And really let your legs be completely relaxed now. Now with both arms, think about lifting both arms, but don't actually do it. And then it's oh so subtle. Both arms lift a tiny bit away from the ground. A tiny bit. It's almost like you could still sense the ground is there, but you're not resting into it. Now lengthen your arms just a smidgen. You're reaching them away from you, and softly give the weight of your arms back to the ground. And then let your head roll side to side. A little cervical rotation. The weight of your head, give the weight of your head to the ground. It's beautiful if you're outside in the grass. It's awesome. And then come to center and let your head rest in a position that feels comfortable. And scan your body if there's any more areas that are asking for attention. Just notice that. And then letting go of your breath, your need to control, or your ability to control your breath. And just let your body breathe. And as you're held there, stay there. And if it's tempting to be pulled anywhere else but right here, use your breath as an anchor. Use your body and your breath. Feel something right here, right now. I want to close our class tonight with a thought from Dana Felds. This is from Breath of Joy. She writes that joy is often seen as the mind state that results from the occurrence of something positive. Something positive like I get the job that I want or I leave the job that I hate and experience an inner burst of joy. Webster's defines joy as the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one may desire. But contrary to Mr. Webster, my experience is conclusive and unequivocal. If I have the presence of the mind to look for joy or to ask if joy is there, it always is. Even in the midst of a migraine, or right in the middle of fear, anger, and self-doubt. What I'm talking about here is joy for no reason. A joy that is innate and natural. And while joy may not lend itself easy to definition, I immediately recognize it when it wells up inside of me. It's that sense of elation, optimism, and present tense knowing that all that is truly well. See, when joy is flowing through me, I feel a sense of infinite optimism, and energy moves upward, spilling out of me and into the world like a fountain, sending spray in all directions. Joy connects us. Joy has within it great strength and great vulnerability. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Fill your lungs up completely. Pause. And then let it go with a sigh. Take your time to move in any way that feels right to you. And ease yourself over to one side. Mm-hmm. And then take your time to come on up to seated. So you can press yourself up to any comfortable seated position. Root your hips down and lift your spine up. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, thumbs to heart, heart to thumbs, honoring yourself for carving time out of your home and your day to come to your mat. Continue to dive inside through this ancient art, science, and philosophy that we know today as yoga, to grow and transform. So thank you for showing up and shining bright. Namaste.